All right, so these are the Agua Caliente lamp post medallions. So I think it was like 10 years ago. We already made like 18 of these bad boys. So they're gonna want 4 more. So there's a lot of digging in the crates, dusting off a lot of like how the heck did we do that kind of thing. So I think we got it figured out. So we have some good documentation. I've got good pictures from last time. So this is gonna help you guys through like 80% of it. Really, it's gonna be pretty self-explanatory with all the pictures. But there's a few things I want to point out just to make sure no confusion. So that's what this will be about. So let's get after it. Lay of the land. So we are doing 040. Yes, 040. This thing, the whole idea is this thing needs to be as light as possible. The engineering was just barely, they allowed us to put this up here, but the company, when we reached out to this pole company, they were very strict about how much the pole could put up with. So it's very important that we don't call audibles and make it heavier than what we designed it to be. So 040 parts, yes. 1/4-inch brackets, look out for these. And then 040 white on whites. These are just for the graphics and going to paint and then write the graphics. So this isn't for fab per se. You'll have a jig template. I am looking for 3/4 MDO, and it's going to be routed halfway down, and then we're good to go. So like I say, there's not a lot going on. Just want to point out some stuff. So the main thing is let's look at the pictures from last time. It's great. So this is what you're aiming for. You know, you're going to be getting this jig again. Now, unfortunately, I mean, it's great. We have pictures, but this was the first prototype, and we did it out of 1/4 inch, thinking it would be light enough. This was Ernie. Ernie knocked this out. He did an amazing job. What's up, Ernie? So anyway, so we're just replicating this, but we are doing it out of, look at that, Corel 15. Good Lord. I didn't know what I was doing at all. So anyway, so what you're going to be doing is looking for this. Obviously, you'll have your brackets are very similar. Everything's kind of the same here. So again, the pictures do all the work for you. You can see what you're aiming for, all that. So let me show you how we'll get there. So looking for this, get your jiggy ready to go. So first and foremost, cut list. So your main bar is a known, easy number, 68.5. Your tall boy here is an easy number. And then you have one drop down here, 17 and 13/16. So you have 2 cut lists. The first cut list is all the known parts that are good to go. So go ahead and cut all these parts. This will be for 4 signs. There's 4 medallions. And then the other one is going to be the tricky parts that you are going to be sort of custom fitting on there. So that's going to be this top part here. You can see where it meets up. So this is like the top bar that goes out. That's this guy here. So you'll have to custom cut this one to fit. The bottom bar is one wrap around like that. So you'll have to custom that. And then, so those are the ones. Plus these ones that are at 45 will also need to be cut. So you can see where like here, he's got that little extra that he cut off. So that's what I'm saying is that you'll have 2 cut lists. On this one, I encourage you, I went ahead and put the computer sizes. So I know this doesn't do you any good with a tape measure, but these are your 4 diagonals. So how those diagonals, fit in like this is kind of funky. And then how they're going to butt up against here on the curve. So get your curve in there first, and then how that cuts. So you can decide, what this means to you. Once you get those kind of noted and how you like them, then, note that 56.43 is what it takes to go around by the computer. But then you might want to go ahead and add on, 4 inches on each side, like here for the slip roll, right? And then, add on a 4 inches or 3 inches over here for your slip roll as well. So that's what I'm saying is go ahead and figure that out, add that up, and then you can go ahead and start chopping those. Same thing here, 28.152 is what it takes to go from here to here. So go ahead and add on your slip roll material there, and then you can go ahead and get it dialed in. So anyway, so that's kind of how that is, just letting you know that you can go ahead and cut this list first, and then go ahead and dial in one of them, get it dialed, and then cut all the pieces you need for the rest. Then what I encourage you to do is while you have this wood jig out, is maybe go ahead and just put marker and go ahead and mark it right on the jig what sizes you cut for this one, and then maybe put a little arrow and say, cut this one to XYZ, whatever it is, that way, when we're done, we'll put this up in cold storage. Like I said, mark the job and mark the date on it. And I don't think there's a reason to throw this away this time. So anyway, because they might want more, who knows? So that takes care of the cut list, getting all that taken care of. And then once you have these crossbars, the top one here and this cross one that has the brackets on it, let's get after the brackets. So you can see how the brackets are going to be. They're this like, oops, get rid of that. Yeah, come on now. Yeah, so you'll have this part here coming up and this part here, and that hugs the bar. And then you'll just burn it here and here. Doesn't need to be crazy burned, just enough to hold it together. You can tack on the inside. So that's going to be enough for that. And then you can see where that's going to bolt onto the actual post. When we first did this, they gave us an actual post. Obviously, we probably won't be getting a post from them because we already did it. They assured us that that post is the same as the other one. So we should be able to just duplicate what we got. So anyway, as far as the brackets are concerned, what you want to do is make sure that what you're going to do is slide this bracket onto and match the curve up with the end of the bracket. And then that's going to give you your stick out. And then you can see where on this one here, we don't weld on the back side. We want to keep that kind of clean. So you're just going to burn, as you can see here, you're going to burn on the inside, and that's going to be what, melt the bar to the bracket there. And that's what's going to be kind of keep it in place there. So that's what you want to do there. Now you can tell Ernie made a pretty good call here where you're going to want to burn the brackets on first before you assemble the wagon wheel. That way you can keep these flat on your table, and you get, because otherwise like this, you'll have to burn these vertical, and obviously vertical aluminum is a crappy weld. So go ahead and, while these are just flat, burn that on, you're good to go. And then you can assemble the wagon wheel. Now, as far as assembly of the wagon wheel is concerned, I would encourage you to not burn the actual thing while it's in there. Try to save it. So just like he's got here, you just want to go ahead and just tack it together really well, and then very carefully pull it out. And that way, then you can finish up your fillet welds after after it's out of the thing. So that's just, you're going to have that nice fillet welds go all around. Make sure it's nice and strong, and then you're good to go. So once you're kind of in this position, then you're ready to put in these filler pieces. So once this thing's all burnt together and you got a nice wagon wheel, everything's nice and strong, burn it up really well. Then what you're going to do is, let's see, so I got the bracket, we're good there. Oh, keep in mind, yeah, I got these ordered up. So depending on when you watch this video, they're either going to be there on Thursday or Friday, whatever. So we have a bunch of these U-bolts coming. These U-bolts do need to go out to paint. So maybe you can coordinate with paint, maybe like put holes in a 2x4 and they can kind of hang off one side or something. I don't know. So, but we got to get those ready for paint. So when it's time to put these little spacer pieces in, what you're going to do is you're going to take each of the pieces on the outside, and they make a 31-inch round circle. So if you go from the center mark and go up 15.5 and put a mark there, that should be roughly where it goes. These do not need to be perfect. They just need to be keeping this kind of square and looking good, but they don't need to be super perfect because this guy here, like if you take that, we group it, and then we kind of overlay it, you can see how much there is to play with. So when we go to stick on the actual like graphic ring like this, there's no way you're actually going to see those little things. So they don't need to be perfect, but you want to make sure they're on there nice, And so anyway, so what you want to do is just start with one, and you want to stagger. So like in the picture here, you're going to stagger. One's going to be to the back, and then the next one's going to be on this side. And then this one's going to be to the front, and this one's going to be this way, and this way, and this way. And then you're just going to burn it to it. And then that is going to be what we mount those beauty rings to. So when we're done, that's what we're mounting that to, like that. So So these rings just need to get routed and then straight to, that's why we just want white. Route these, get them right to graphics. We're good to go. Get them to paint or whatever. So once you get it to this state, fabrication, you're done. Just send it out to paint and you're pretty much good to go. When we go to assemble these, check with sales, Johnny, check with install. I'm not even sure we're installing these. I don't know but anyway, check with Jonathan. But I think we made a point to put some safety screws even through the face. Like I say, this was just for test. So this doesn't have any screws. But I think we want to make sure we put some safety screws. It doesn't have to be the number 10 big boys, but something to make sure these don't come off. Double stick tape's not going to cut it. And if these accidentally come off, they become, flying metal frisbees of death. We don't want to be flying heads with these things. So, here and there, you want to make sure you hit that little piece in there and then we can touch it up. But safety first, because these are 30 feet up. We don't want to be raining death down on people. So coordinate with Jonathan if we want to assemble these completely here and then take them out or whatever. So anyway, just a heads up there, safety first. So, but otherwise, I think that's it. So, but if you have any questions, hit me up.
Check the technique. Check the technique. See if you can follow.